Okay, so prepare yourself, because this is something a little bit different again to what I would usually do. But that's the reason why I started this second channel, because I wanted it to be a place where I could do things a little bit different. This is going to be one of those videos where I don't do any kind of cutting. You know, you're going to get the full on, you're going to hear me bang on probably for the next 10 minutes or so, maybe longer. But essentially, something I want to talk about is opinions. Now, I've seen some videos lately from other channels who have kind of done, have kind of spoken about RC YouTubers and can you trust them, and is everything they're saying legit, and you know, if you're paid to do a review, can you trust that review, or is it just total BS because you don't want to ruin the relationship you have with the company who have sent you that item, because then they may take you off that list, the reviewer list, if you will. They may take you off that list, and then you won't get the latest and greatest products when they're released, you know, a month, 2 months down the line. Now, essentially, the first thing I want to talk about is opinions. Now, I think a lot of people forget that everyone has an opinion. You're all entitled to make your own mind up. So let's say, for example, you've watched one of my videos. We'll use one of my most recent ones as kind of like the perfect example. And yes, I'll be honest, it has kind of triggered me to do this video. Now, the MJX video that I did of the H12P, the new, what's it called? The new Baja, well, apparently it's a Baja truck, but essentially it's been set up as a rock crawler / trail truck. The video I did a couple of days ago of that, the Ford Bronco R, that has turned out to be a little bit more controversial than I thought it was going to be. And that's because the other reviews that are out there have been quite positive compared to my review, which was pretty much, this thing's terrible. I think MJX have gone about it the wrong way. I think they needed to create this truck in a completely different way, which I stand by what I said. I still think that that truck is a confused mess. And then the day after, I actually went out and I basically stuck that body on a Rolalo AMD 12 chassis, took it back out, and yeah, I didn't get much running footage of it, but yeah, I just used a whole bunch of parts I had lying around to try and find a way to fit that body to that chassis, and it worked really well. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may have not. But essentially, that to me felt like that is what that truck should have been. It should have been quicker. I mean, it's a Baja 1000 truck, or at least that's what it's made, you know, that's what it's designed to look like. And yes, I know it's a toy car, but essentially it should be similar to the real life car. You know, it should be quicker than, well, I think I got 8 miles per hour out of it, which is really slow. But again, it's on a it's a fast body on a crawler / trail truck chassis, which I think is a confused mess. But there's other channels out there who have been really positive about it, who have said, yeah, this is great for what it is, and no, it's not. You are allowed to say something isn't good. And again, this is where, you know, I don't want to go off topic, but again, I want to go back to the original point I'm trying to make here, and that is opinions. And one of the reviews I see, at the very end, the reviewer said, you know, just look at loads of channels, loads of reviews, watch everyone's videos, and then make your mind up. Don't just base it on what I'm saying. Don't just base it on what beyondRC is saying. You know, just make your own mind up. Watch the reviews, make your own mind up, and work out whether or not you want to spend your hard-earned cash. Because essentially, I haven't paid for that item. The other channels haven't paid for that item. They've got it for free as well. So it's alright saying something's good, but if it isn't that good, someone's going to go out and spend their money on that. And, you know, if someone's spending $200, I think it's about $200 for that new MJX. If someone's going out and spending $200 on something, I want to make sure it's worth that $200. And in my review, of course, I was a little bit negative about it, but I didn't think it was worth $200. I still don't think it's worth that $200 price tag. Not when you look at what it's supposed to be or what it's trying to be. It should be set up in a completely different way. But anyway, this isn't a review again about that truck. You know, there is a video of that on the main channel, which of course I think most people understood the point I was trying to make, but then there was of course a lot of people who didn't quite understand the point I was trying to make, and again it comes across as I'm moaning or I'm being negative, and that's really not the case. I am doing my job as an RC reviewer, which is to be totally honest to my subscribers, totally honest to people who are about to spend their money. But again, it's just my opinion. It is just one opinion when there are hundreds of channels out there. Okay, not every channel will get the latest and greatest cars or whatever. You know, you usually the slightly bigger channels will get a lot of the stuff a lot earlier than everybody else. But essentially, it's just an opinion. It's just me giving my honest opinion, and I'm allowed to say I don't like something. You know, just because other channels have said they really like it. And before doing my video, yeah, I did see another video that had been done on it from another channel. And again, that channel didn't find many problems with it. That channel also changed out the ESC and at the end showed the performance on 3S, which the truck won't do out the box. Now, whilst I agree with trying new things and adapting cars to be better or whatever, essentially when you get something out the box, that's the way it should be reviewed. That's just, again, that's my opinion. I don't think you should make that many changes out the box. I don't think you should have to completely change a car's electronics. I don't think you should change any of the chassis stuff. I think you should review a car as it is out the box and then say, yes, it's good, or no, it's bad. Simple as that. You know, that's just my take on it. And I'm not judging any other channels. You know, I'm not saying they should do things differently. People do things the way they want, just like I do. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't think you should make that many changes, or at the very least, I don't think you should change out the car's entire electronic system just to try and prove that it's a good car. Because if it's not a good car, it isn't a good car. You can't sugarcoat it. A turd is a turd, as they say. Anyway, again, like I said, I'm not judging other channels. I'm not telling people how to do their stuff. We've all got our own opinions. We all run our channels in our own way. And if anything, I really don't like it when people try to tell me how to do things on my channel. So I wouldn't do that to anybody else. But my take on it is, I'll review something as it turns up to my house. I'll give you my opinion on it, and final decision comes down to the person who's about to click buy. And that's nothing to do with me. I can just give you my opinion. You can go and check out other channels, go and see what they're doing, go and see what they make of it. You know, there may be 5 channels who say they really like the truck. There may be one channel, in this instance me, who says I don't like the truck. And that is literally it. I'm not purposely going against the grain. I'm not purposely trying to cause trouble. It's nothing like that. It's just my opinion. It's me saying I didn't like it. I think it's confused. I don't like the way it's set up. It's the wrong body. It's the wrong type of body on that kind of chassis. And that's it. It finishes there. There's nothing more to say about that. But yeah, some of the comments I've seen are quite funny, actually. A lot of people saying, you know, you just talk total crap, basically, you know, just full of BS. But I think people just forget that being an RC reviewer, reviewing RC cars is, you know, firstly, I'm very fortunate to be in this position where I get sort of stuff sent to me and I can review it. Excuse me. I can review it and post up my opinion online and everything else. I'm incredibly fortunate to be in this position. But to get to this position, you know, sort of, and I'm by no means a very you know, I'm not a massive channel. 51k now, which is really cool, by the way. But I'm not 100, 200, 300, 1 million subscribers. I'm nowhere near that. But essentially, I didn't realise that the things I say had such a massive impact, which is quite flattering, actually. And especially when you see other channels out there who are kind of leaving comments and, you know, on other videos, and clearly some of the things I say have made a massive impact in the RC world, which is quite flattering actually. I actually really think that is quite flattering, because I didn't realise I had that much of an impact. But clearly I do, so I must be doing something right. Anyway, I don't want to go off topic too much, because we're just talking about opinions, really. And we're talking about how opinions are just opinions. It doesn't mean you should listen to everything I say, because, yeah, I'll admit, sometimes I do talk a load of BS. You know, essentially, we're talking to a camera for 10 to 15 minutes. And that's not an easy thing to do, you know. And sometimes, yeah, it may come across as I'm talking BS, or other channels are talking BS, or, you know, that's just what we do. But essentially, it all comes down to being truthful. It comes down to being truthful. It comes down to integrity in a way. And I think just because you've got a free sample, just because something's been sent to you for free, doesn't mean you can lie about it, or even if you've received payment to do a video. And I'm not saying any channels have been given payment and they're purposely withholding information, nothing like that. I'm not saying that before people hit the comments again. But what I'm saying is, regardless of whether or not something's been sent to you for free, and regardless of whether or not it may burn that bridge, it may cause you to not get the next product for free or whatever, because you've upset the company, I don't think that should matter. I don't think that should matter, because what you're doing is you're being honest to your followers. And there was something I see recently on Kev's channel with the FTX Truggy. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called the Crossbow. Anyway, there is a video out there, or some videos out there, who, you know, a few people have said it was a brilliant truck. Kev got one and said it was terrible. And, you know, I think people got a little bit defensive about that. But essentially, again, it's just opinions. You know, people may say it's good, or the channels who got one of those may have said it was good at the time, and then someone else gets it, and then it turns out to not be very good. But it's pointless, you know. It's difficult to word it, I think. There's no point criticising anybody, because, again, it is just opinions. It's just opinions. We've all got them. Some of us say stuff is good, some of us say stuff is bad. That is what it is called. That is what it is like as an RC reviewer, or any reviewer, any channel, or, you know, whether it be a tech channel, a car channel who's reviewing real cars. We all have opinions, and essentially, being an RC reviewer, that is literally it. You know, it's all based on personal opinion, personal experiences, what we like, what we don't like. We put that in a video, we upload it, people see it, and then they make their mind up. They make their mind up as to whether or not it's worth spending out their own cash, their own money on something. You know, honestly, this is a topic I could talk about for hours probably, because it's just an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. There are so many people out there who question integrity, who constantly question every single day, is this guy lying? Is he just being, you know, has he been paid? Has some company paid him endless amounts of money to say good things? Like, the comments you get, it's just crazy how many people think that you've just been paid by a company to say good things about something, and it's almost never the case. Or at the very least, I can't speak for every channel, but I've never taken payment to keep my mouth shut. If I don't like something, I will say. And I don't care if the company doesn't send me anything ever again. You know, it's the same as MJX. I have emailed them and sort of told them about my concerns about the truck and what they should change and everything else. Yeah, I haven't got an email back, so potentially I may have upset MJX. But look, if I have upset MJX, so be it. So be it, because essentially I'm telling the truth. I am saying this truck should be set up differently. You should have done this differently. And if you want to be a successful company and you want to, you know, go really far, and MJX are doing great. You know, MJX are becoming one of the leaders in the RC world, especially like in the budget RC world. if you want to go all the way and you want to get really big and everything else, then you need to take on board feedback. It's pointless every single channel out there saying good things about it and saying it's perfect and it doesn't need any changes and, you know, sugarcoating a turd, because then the company won't change anything. The company won't change the way the car is set up, and, you know, to make it better, you need to tell them what they need to change. It's pointless saying, oh, it's perfect, it doesn't need any changes whatsoever. I can't understand that one. I can't understand why people, when you're doing reviews, you can find good and you can find bad in everything, and that is literally how reviews work. You can make a list of the good points, make a list of the bad points, but so all the time you see reviews from people just listing the good stuff and not speaking about the negative stuff. And I don't know if that's because of fear, you know, you don't want to lose that partnership with the company. I really don't know what that is. But that's kind of what I've noticed with this new MJX car, which is disappointing, actually. It is disappointing because it's by no means perfect, but the way it's coming across is it's perfect. And that kind of makes me look like I'm the bad one. It makes me look like I'm the one that's lying, when I'm not. And I'm not saying anybody's lying, but yeah, it just, you can't sugarcoat a turd, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, this has gone on for what, 16 minutes? I don't want it to go on too long. I just wanted to jump on, really, and do a quick video, just sort of giving you my opinion on it all. The whole, you know, RC reviewers thing. Are we legit? Can you trust us? Can you not trust us? You know, opinions. Yeah, essentially, we've all got them. And when you say stuff that goes against what all the other channels are saying, sometimes people don't always like that. You know, people think you should be a positive person at all times and you shouldn't be moaning and you should just say nice things. Yeah, that's not the kind of person I am. If I like something, I'll say so. You know, I'll do a good review on it. Then I'll get comments from people saying, "Oh, you've said nice things about it. You're paid." Essentially, you can never win. You know, with the whole YouTube thing and the RC community, I'm not sure about other communities, but the RC community, essentially, if you say something's good online, people start to question your integrity. You say something's bad online, people will say, all you're doing is moaning. You know, you cannot win, essentially. But I just wanted to jump on and give people my take on it, because I'm pretty sure, knowing how some of the other channels operate, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a load of positive stuff coming up. You know, a load of positive stuff coming up. I'm the bad one. You know, I'm the one who's purposely going against the grain. You know, I shouldn't be hating, and I am. Whatever, I don't care, because essentially, it's just my opinion. Again, title of the video, opinioning. I wasn't sure if opinioning was a word, so I had to Google that, and apparently opinioning is a word. Anyway, guys, that is my take on opinions, and something I wanted to jump on and talk about, because clearly it's a bit of an issue at the moment. But I know a lot of you guys appreciate what I say. I know a lot of you are, you know, have been following my channel for years, you know, 5 years plus. And a lot of you are now supporting this second channel as well, which is really good to see. You know, we've almost topped 500 subscribers in the space of a few days, which is really good, actually. I didn't think I was going to get to 100. You know, when I first started the main channel, it took me 2.5-3 months to get to 100 subscribers. So topping 500 in the space of a few days is really cool. Really, really cool. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. Maybe I'll do this kind of video in the future again. You know, just me talking for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm just looking at the timer and I'm seeing 19 minutes, 13 seconds. Yeah, it's gone on a lot longer than I thought it was going to go on for. But, yeah, I guess I like talking. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there before it gets far too long. If you like this kind of thing, which is a little bit different, and I don't think many channels do this kind of thing, where you just think of a topic and start talking about it without too much sort of editing and stuff like that. It's not a podcast. I don't think it's a podcast. It may be a podcast. I don't know. Never done a podcast. But if you like this type of thing, throw some more topics out there. Throw some more topics in the comments. Let me know some more stuff that you'd like me to talk about, and possibly, maybe, I will do another video on this second channel talking about that topic, if that's what you want to see. Alright guys, take it easy. If you haven't already, make sure you support me on this second channel. If you're already following me on the first channel or subscribing to me on the first channel, that's great. But of course, hit that subscribe button for us on this second channel as well, and make sure you've got notifications on. Alright guys, take it easy. Cheers.